Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your host, Adrian Jackson. I'm in the studio again with our co-host, Donovan Jackson. Bro, how we doing today?
Pretty good. How are you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Good to see you again, like your little dreads getting longer.
Of course, always.
I see
Never
you.
stop growing.
I see you, bro. It's slanging it. All right, so today I have a very special guest in the studio with us today. This dude, it's my brother, man. Another brother from another mother, college roommate, fraternity brother, business partner on multiple levels, Enough Said partner, president of Enough Said. So I just want to bring to the mic Mr. Mario Lewis. Lou, how we doing, bro?
What's going on, Adrian, bro? Man, I just, grateful for you invite me onto your show, bro, and I'm excited, man. This is going to be fun. Super excited. Adrian's my bro, man. That's my frat brother, K. Side till we die, man.
Yo.
Yo.
Nah, dude, for real though, man. I appreciate you more than anything. Come out here, bro. Man, I know it's probably a little nerve-wracking and stuff, a little random, but yeah, man, I'm just glad you're here today, bro. And so the reason I invited you on the show today is because I know you have a lot of me. All right.
That's a little cut.
So the reason I brought you on the show today, Noop, is because I know you got a lot of great traits in you that I always admire. Definitely, watching you, growing up with you, we went through a lot together. And one trait that's always stood out for me, for sure, is your ability to lead by example, bro. I feel that you always been a leader. Definitely, it don't even matter. Like in Kappa, you've been a leader. When we was doing Crown Me, you was the leader. When we was doing Enough Said, you was the leader. And I always just like how you have the ability to just say, yo, I'm about to take these steps and y'all can catch up with me. So, I just love your leadership, bro.
Absolutely, man. And, I think that attribute, more so I would probably say my father. My father was a huge leader in this community for, I would say, over 20 years. He had Enough Said, the organization that me and you were, over, and he the one that passed that down to me. So, his leading by example led me to, do the same. So that's definitely where I got that from.
Right. So, so I'm guessing you're going to give, ultimate honors to your pops then. He was the first true leader you really saw in your life.
Absolutely. And just to go into detail, man, my pops grew up in LA, South Central LA, Inglewood. He was all over LA, and he grew up fatherless, so one of his biggest goals, it was funny because he was just telling me this story yesterday. He said one of his biggest goals when he was a young kid, he said 7, 8 years old, he used to sit on the stoop, and he would say, I will never be like my father, not coming around. He said, I will always be in my kid's life, and, that just stuck to me, man. When you really look at LA and just the demographics among, African-American males whose fatherless is astronomical. So, that stuck with me. And, I always said I would be a great father. I got 2 little girls now. And so, I got to lead by example for them. I got to show them what, a man looks like. And, I got to be an example to them too, because, one day they're going to be dating. So, I want them to date similar to dad or anybody who I bring by, by the house or anything like that. So, absolutely, man.
Yeah, no, you want them to make sure they see what a good male's supposed to be. And it actually goes back to, at the house this weekend.
Yeah.
We was talking with my nieces about dating a little bit. And I was like, I really told my niece, I was like, man, honestly, if the boy can't answer the question, where do you see me in 5 years? Or where do you want to be at in 5 years? Absolutely. If he can't answer that question, you might not want to talk to him.
Absolutely.
And like you said, we got to set that example for them, right?
Absolutely.
Now, for sure.
Absolutely. It was imperative that I set the example because, I think, a lot of people say you get mature in age, but I totally disagree. I think you just get mature with wisdom, with putting your dumb stuff, to the side, with life. So, I don't think it's an age thing. You got 40-year-old man who's immature as ever, you know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
it was time, man. It was time for me to mature up. I got little ones looking after me, and kids don't do what you say, they do what you do. You know what I'm saying? So, that was a huge reason, and that's the reason why I tried to lead, by example. I got a lot of nieces and nephews. I got, younger siblings. I got younger cousins. I got a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? And so, I always want them to be better than me. I want them to be able to stand on my shoulders and look way further ahead than, I was able to, because I was able to do that with my father. Right. And then you fast forward it to what, I'm 31 years old now, and just, being around other mentors and, other great men, and, they're showing me more about life than I didn't even know, right? And so it's always about leveling up and getting around people who are leading by example, for one, and, who's going to, tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Right. Exactly.
So that was huge for me. I never grew up with people always told me what I wanted to hear. Like my childhood, my dad was tough, bro. My dad was a tyrant. My dad was like, we don't do it like that. We do it like this. And he would break me down, bro.
Right.
He would break me down and give me the real. And so, that's pretty much where it came from.
Right. No, I fully understand because, like, same with me. My pops led by example,
Absolutely.
and like my favorite thing that he always told me is, "Ain't nobody gonna do it for you."
Yep.
And he'll walk away.
Absolutely.
I'll be out there working on the car by myself. He'll be like, "Ain't nobody gonna do it for you. You better change them brakes."
Absolutely.
But that's what I needed to push me. And I ain't gonna lie. I'm really happy to say that my father was in my life and really teach me. I know a lot of males out there didn't have a father figure in their life, and that part did set them back some. So
Absolutely.
I'm so happy. So happy my
for
father's
sure.
in my life.
Absolutely,
Love you, pops.
man.
Hope you listen to this.
Same here. Love you, pops.
Yes,
OG.
sir.
I call him my OG. Tell Max to call him OG. So
True OG. My dad's a legend, living legend.
Absolutely.
So I guess one of my first questions for you is, when did you realize you was a leader? Like, what was your first step into leadership?
Dude, that is so funny you asked that because I was literally, I read a lot of John Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
He's like leadership guru.
And
so he narrated the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about, sorry to get biblical, but I think this is necessary. He's talking about Moses in Exodus. And one thing that he talks about, if you look at how Moses was in Exodus, he was like inferior. He wasn't a confident man.
Right.
God coached him up, and so I guess my point is, I don't think leaders are born, leaders are made. And I say that because he was coached up through all the little stories in in Exodus. You'll see that Moses was coached up to lead those people.
Right.
And that was deep because it was like, I don't think I was ever just like, I think I had leader traits and leader qualities, but I don't ever think I was just like born to be, a leader. You're born to be a leader, but you don't possess those qualities and those characteristics because you ain't have no experience in life.
Yeah, you gotta pull them out.
Yeah, so you gotta pull them out. And so how do you pull them out? I don't know. Being, like I said, my dad was leading by example. I seen it through observation. That's how I learned. I learned my oldest brother, who I looked up to immensely. The dude was like, he was like a living legend growing up. He was a football star. He was in the Catholic League. All of that. He did everything. And so I got a chance to look at every single mistake that he did, and it's like either I repeat those same mistakes or I learn from his mistakes.
Right.
And so I took those moments and those teachings to where I was able to learn from his mistakes.
Right.
And I was like, okay, now I can put that tool in my tool bag. And then, I seen my pops do stuff. My pops was a great dude. He taught us what he knew. He didn't, he didn't have a father in his life, so he was kind of just, he was building the blueprint. He didn't know what he was doing, and so. I seen some stuff he was doing, and I'm like, okay, I'll take that. That I really wasn't feeling, you know what I'm saying? And then, I get around men now who I really, really look up to, and I see the way they lead, by example, and lead by example, through their faith, and through their marriage, and through being a father and stuff like that. And so I take those qualities and I put it, and so. It wasn't just, I was born a leader one day,
Right.
I think just over time, and I was built up, to be a leader through observation, through, experience in life, through, great men and even great women, coming in and out of my life. I think that's really where it came from.
Right, no, and I love it because, like, going back to John Maxwell, he always says, I'm not going to quote this 100%, so don't quote me on this, but he always talks about, they say that age comes with, or experience comes with age. Or the older you get, the wiser you get.
Right.
But he was talking about, like, no, it doesn't actually get like that. Just because you're older, you're not wiser.
Absolutely.
It's the ability to evaluate your experience.
Absolutely.
Which is what makes you grow and get to the next level.
Evaluate the experience. Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you don't evaluate that experience, you don't get to the next level. And you did exactly, you took the people that were ahead of you, evaluated your experience, and then like, no, I'm gonna veer a little bit different this way.
Yeah.
Or go this way, go
Absolutely.
that way. Because like, if you're just like me, you're the first one to graduate college, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that's what I did. I evaluated my sister's experience going to college, my brother's experience, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go that far, but at the same time, I'm not gonna stay home. I'm gonna go in the middle.
Absolutely.
And that's how I ended up going to Reno. And then my mindset was, like I said, lead by example. I got a younger brother. I got younger sisters. Yep. I want to let them know that they can do it.
Absolutely.
So that's why I had to finish, you know. So I fully understand you, bro.
Absolutely,
I fully feel you on that one, bro.
For sure.
Yeah. So what drives you to keep going then? Like, what's the fuel to your fire?
You know what, man? I think that motive has changed over time. I guess before I was married, before I had kids, it was just like, I wanted to be the man. You know what I'm saying? I want people to know, like, yo, like Mario did something. Mario was a man, but that becomes you confiding in what people think too much. And then after you turn after I turned my life over to Jesus, it totally changed 360, right? First and foremost, man, I just want to live out my Christian-based life. I want to be the man that God has called me to be. I want to be the husband that God has called me to be, and I want to be the father, that God has called me to be. I'm not too hyped up in like a job title or anything like that. My main leading motivators are God, my faith, my wife, and my kids.
Right.
That's it. I want to give them the world, and it takes me, leading by example, associating with good people like yourself, and just doing the right thing, man. Overall, just doing the right thing, and that's what it comes down to.
Right. No, I feel you on that one. That's exactly what you have to do. You have to, your example. People are watching you.
For sure.
So you want to make sure that the people who are watching receive something good coming out of you.
Absolutely.
That's real good. I like that, bro.
Yeah.
So, I guess my next question is, do you ever get scared being a leader? Because you have to be the first one to stick your head out there. Like, is it scary to you? Do you fear it at all?
Yeah, man. I think absolutely, man. And it's so funny because I recently learned this, from one of my mentors, and it's like we all experience fear.
Right.
It's kind of like the inevitable. But then when you talk about courage, it's like courage is doing something that you're fearful of. Like say,
right.
You're fearful to do that, but the courage is actually doing it.
Right.
And that's what makes you courageous.
That's
what I'm saying? Getting through the fear. That's the faith. So I think we all have fear, but it's like, do we let the fear hold us back, or do we, we grab the fear by the the horns and we strangle it and we throw it and we get past it. Cause fear is paper thin, bro. It's not even.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. It's not even real half the time, man. And it sucks that I'm, 31 and I'm starting to learning all of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's such an illusion. It's paper thin, and I think the people who take the biggest risks are the most fearful, but they're probably the most courageous too, because they're taking the risk and they're willing to get through the fear. And so, based off your question is, how do I?
Oh, do you ever get scared being a leader?
Do I ever get scared? Absolutely, 100%.
Right.
100%.
So like, what pushes you through that fear? What makes you be like, I gotta walk through this no matter what? Like,
and I think it's so funny. It's such a great title because it always comes back to leading by example. For example, say, I want to run a marathon, a 5-mile marathon or whatever, and I got to get in X amount of shape, and do it in a certain amount of time, and I'm gonna be fearful to run that because I never did it before.
Right.
And then to get that time and do it how I say I'm gonna do it. But I think my kids will push me, my wife will push me, because it's like, I gotta lead by example again.
Right.
I gotta do it for them. I gotta show them they can overcome fear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we let fear overcome us, then what are we teaching our kids? What are we teaching, the nieces and nephews we talked about, or whoever? I think it's even. I think I've gotten to the point now where you can even learn from. People younger than you or older than you. It doesn't matter, right? You can learn from people older than you or younger than you, and it's like you can teach anybody to get over fear by doing it. That's the only way it works. You gotta lead by example. Like I said, people don't do what you say, they do what you do. So if you out here doing crazy stuff, they're gonna do it. And so my kids are a huge motivating factor. My wife is a huge motivating factor. And I think too, man, it's kind of like, being a man, it's like a pride thing too. It's just
it's competitive,
I gotta do it. If I said I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it. It's kind of like being a man of your word. It's like, I have to do it. No matter. It's like when we pledge, right? I don't want to get deep into that, but when we pledged, it was like, I'm not quitting.
I ain't quit. Yeah, no, I ain't
not quitting.
Not at all.
It's hard. Some days it was really, really fearful, like extremely fearful, because you didn't know what to expect.
You didn't know what's coming.
But you wasn't quitting.
Yeah.
That's why you're on the other side of it now. So, just the pride too. Pride of being a man.
Yeah, you know what, Lou? And that's why I love you, bro, because, I picked you for this type of lead by example, because one of the main things that always popped in my mind was when we was back in school, and you would try to wake me and Dean up, like, y'all going to the gym? And we'll be like, yeah, give us a minute. And you be like, all right, I'll meet y'all there.
Yeah.
We go to the gym. You already did your workout in on a court hooping. And we like, man, I said I go lift and catch up. And it's like, me and Dean had that mindset of, I don't want to get left behind. Let me catch up. Mario's already going out the house down the street. Let me actually throw my shoes on and get
That's
moving.
that FOMO, that fear of missing out.
Yeah, exactly.
I have that too with a lot of things.
Really?
Oh my gosh. It's like with Max right now. It's like I see his success. but I also see the grind on the other side of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of people see like, you know, the success in basketball and, you know, this kid who's 6'8" and, you know, could potentially be an NBA player. But it's like, yo, you're not seeing, you know, the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? The other side is crazy, but the kid is such a, like, he's like ferocious, man. He's doing stuff that I always tell my dad, I'm like, he's doing stuff that grown men wouldn't do. Like, I don't know no kid who from the age of 16 has been moving all over the country, you know, to pursue his dream.
Right.
He's been fearful. Like, it's been times where he's been so fearful. He's like, yo, I want to come back home. And we're like, nah, dude, you got to fight through it. And so imagine them times growing up where I didn't do something. He's watching me. He's watching me. They're watching you. And you don't even know they're watching you. And I didn't follow through on what I said I was going to do.
Right.
Or I didn't finish the commitment because I was fearful. Then what would that have done for him? You know what I'm saying? He would have just quit and be like, yo, I'm coming back home. You did it. He would be like, you did it.
Right.
Why can't I do it? You did it.
Right.
And kids do that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because my daughter would do that. Don't let me follow through on something. She's going to be like, well, Dad, you didn't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My daughter holds me accountable. Kennedy is like, she's real deal.
Right.
You know, and she's so fearless though. You know what I'm saying? Like she has this little gymnastics bar right now, and she be getting on that thing
in the house.
And it's in the house. Yeah, it's like a little miniature one. And she be swinging and all of this stuff, but she's fearless. And I notice with Kennedy, she pays close attention to every single move I make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's another reason why I gotta leave by example, because she's watching me like a hawk, dude.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I fall short on my commitment, you know, while she's watching. Then look at the seed I just planted to her. And we know what seeds do, whether good or bad, they grow.
Yeah.
They grow.
No, and that's real, because like the last time I saw Candy, I think at first she was hesitant of me.
Yeah.
But then the second you shook me up, she was in love with me. She was all over me, hi, what's up, waving 20 times.
Absolutely.
I was like, okay, Candy, I see you now.
When I just left out the house, make sure you tell Adrian I said hi. I leave to go to work. Make sure you tell your coworkers I said hi. You know what I'm saying? So she watching, man, like a hawk.
I love it. I love it.
So I got like 2 questions for you in one question, if that makes sense. So like, in those moments, right, when you're going to lead by example, and you know, when you're met by fear, or even when you're not, what's your mental process? Like, what are the words being said in your head that like, okay, I must go do this, or I can't let this fear hold me back within this moment? It's like, I need to go now, like within the moment.
Yeah, I think it's me looking at the outcome. It's like you either get 2 outcomes, right? You get the outcome of discipline, or you get the outcome of regret. And the last thing I want to do is, you know, be in the regret boat, right? You know, the discipline, you can get through discipline, but regret you got to live with for the rest of your life.
Right.
And and it's so funny, man, because I've been like that since I was young, man. I remember vividly, and I'm not gonna say the names, but we went to school with them, Adrian, and you'll know them. I'll tell you, but I remember, because I didn't smoke or drink in high school. I just wasn't into that. A lot of people around me did, but that just wasn't my thing. You know, I was into hooping and, you know, doing what I do. But so they came to my house and they were trying to pick me up to go out, but they were all smoking in the car. And I walked to the car and I put my head in there. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, I'm good, I'll pass.
Right.
I'll catch up with y'all later.
Right.
And from that moment on, I was like, being a leader isn't going to be accepted by everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was like I think the discipline was, you know, getting past it, but you know, your friends talking about you, and you know, you don't. I guess being young, the cool thing to do was smoke. Was to fit in and do all that stuff. And then when you get older, like the cool thing to do was like when you stop smoking and drugs, it's like, yo, like you solid now, you good. And so, you know, it's so weird in high school. Like they talk about you like you're not cool because you didn't hotbox the car or something like that. But the discipline would have been my father. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not going home to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna have to deal with him. My father finds everything out. I don't know how, but he finds everything out, bro. And so, you know, if I would have did that and my father found out, I would have felt like I let him down. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think, you know, letting people down, you know, that's why I keep going. Or, you know, just I don't want to experience, you know, that regret or discipline feeling. You know what I'm saying? I want to be on the other side of it.
It's like that thought I didn't give my all. So,
yeah, for sure.
You know, I know I messed up.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's crazy. That's your inner eating you up.
For
That's
sure.
where I'd rather have somebody else on the outside talk about me than my inside head killing me on the inside.
Absolutely, 100%. It's like the guilt. You know how like that guilt be killing you more than you you actually letting people know you did it, like the guilt inside would just eat you up, and I don't like that feeling.
No, I feel it.
So I didn't want to go through that.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel it, man. That transparency is real, bro.
Yeah.
That guilt can really eat you apart. So, so what do you do to keep yourself focused on being in leadership? Like, other than, like you said, you're, the people, thinking about the people that are going to keep you going, what do you have to do for you? Like, set alarms, or like, what do you have to do to keep yourself?
So personally, what I do is, I have a routine that I do every single day. And so I wake up by alarm. I only wake up by alarm when I gotta go to work. When I don't have to go to work, I just pop up and go to the gym by like 7, 8, no later than 9 in the morning.
Yeah, early.
And so, I wake up by alarm, and first thing I do is I pray. I'm like, yo, thank you God for waking me up today. Thank you God for letting my feet hit the ground. Number one thing I do.
Right.
And then I either put something in my ear to listen to that's positive, or I hurry up and get dressed and I go downstairs and I do like a Bible study. But 9 times out of 10, I'll listen to like a prayer or something, and I'll pray with it. That's the first thing I do. I do that for like 10 minutes, and this pastor taught me 10-minute prayer, 10 minutes of reading in the Bible, and then 10 minutes of praise and worship music. And so for my first 30 minutes of the day after I get dressed, after I pray, I'm reading. I get my 10 minutes of reading the Bible in, a devotional, whatever it may be. I listen to gospel music, worship music, for 10 to 12, 15 minutes, depending on if I get in the spirit.
How you feeling? Yeah.
I'm jumping.
You might be vibing,
Yeah, I might just be vibing and, bumping it all the way to work through the office with my headphones in. Sometimes I'm walking through the office, with my headphones in, and they're like, yo, I'm like, trying to say good morning to you, but I'm like, yo, I got something else powerful going on in my ears. I get with you in a minute.
Yeah, I feel it.
And then I'll do my devotional, and so my 30 minutes of that is towards my spirituality, and then I'll read like a personal self-growth book. Right now, the books that I'm reading right now, I can't think of this book. It's like a habit book. It's really good. And then I'm reading, Pastor Michael Todd, really famous pastor right now. I'm reading his marriage book. Oh, okay. So I'm going back and forth between those 2 books, and then I'll read those and see what I can take out of them, jot down some notes on them.
Right.
Because I feel like if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do, and for some people this might work out, you throw on like some rap music or something, you don't know what that influence is doing to you by the words you're listening to. Right. They say death and life is in the power of the tongue. You know what I'm saying? So what are you listening to? And so that's why I'm like very, very strategic about what I listen to in the morning. And I'm 31 and I'm really just now starting to get the hang of this. You know what I'm saying? So it takes time. But so then I get to work and I read my 2 books, and then I'll put on some type of podcast, or there's a lot of motivational speakers out there. You can listen to something like that. That's what I'll do.
Right.
And then sometimes, man, I'll even sit for like 10 to 20 minutes and just meditate on everything that I've read. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think a good thing too is like sharing it with somebody. Sharing what you just experienced. Sharing what you just read. Right. Because 2, it helps you, get something off your chest, but then 2, you don't know how you're helping the next person.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of what my morning routine looks like. And then, after I get off, I go home and, I hang out with the children, which is always fun. My wife, my wife and kids. My wife and kids are amazing.
I already know.
They're fun. Yeah, my wife is such a, she's great.
Yes.
She's great nonetheless. And my kids are even greater. No, they're not even greater. I take that back. My wife is greater. My kids are great. I'm learning that my wife, comes before my kids. So, but and then I hang out with them, man, and we kind of just finish the night off smoothly. Kennedy likes to watch a movie, before she goes to bed, and then, one thing we always do with her, we pray before we go to sleep with her, and we read her a book, because we want to get to the point to where, our subconscious mind is thinking those conscious thoughts, right? Because growing up, man, in the inner city, bro, you can have some crazy thoughts. Just consciously, it's like, why am I thinking like this?
Right.
There's no reason I should be waking up angry.
Right.
And so when I wake up angry, the first thing I do, I'm like, I'm not angry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to tell yourself, like, I'm not angry. You have to speak it out, right? death and life is in the power of the tongue. That's why they say that. So you have to speak it out. I'm not angry.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy today.
No,
I'm finna have a great day. You gotta speak them affirmations to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm the same way. Like my first thing in the shower, I'm singing a happy song.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Lovely day.
Absolutely.
Whatever I gotta do, whatever song makes you feel good this time.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna see something that's lovely, and then same thing. I'm gonna ride to the car, head to work.
For sure.
Listen to some Joel Osteen. You know, it's a good positive message from God for sure.
Absolutely.
Something that's gonna stick with me. And then look, everybody that follows me on Snapchat, y'all see me every morning, definitely my work days, always post a positive picture.
For sure.
Something. It's always just coffee with a little positive message just to make you think
Absolutely.
and hope that I help somebody out.
Absolutely.
You know, share something that's going to keep running in my head throughout the day.
Absolutely.
And help me focus, you know. So no, I 100% agree, bro. I understand.
Like you said, that's just training the subconscious mind. Because
Yes.
we want to get to a point to where not only are we impacting ourselves, but we impacting those after us, and even those, sometimes you can impact people before you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want everybody to have these positive, conscious thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And then, as a whole, my morning routine is just armoring up for what the day's gonna bring me.
Yeah, 'cause you never know what's about to happen with
So
that.
I literally just armored up. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what I'm finna walk into at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what can potentially happen on my way to work. I get a flat tire. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get a flat tire and be like, cool, let me get this fixed real quick and make it on my way back to work.
Bro, I got a ticket last morning leaving the neighborhood right here. Like, literally, if I left the gate, I made the right.
Yeah.
I went through that stoplight, ticket, that fast. And I was mad at first heading to work.
Yeah.
But by the time I got to work, I was to the point of,
It was whatever.
yeah, I'm done. I'm over it. I
Yeah.
can't do nothing about it. I can't pay it until this time anyway, so I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna LIG.
Yeah, it's like I got a flat tire maybe a month and a half ago. It's like, what are you mad about? It ain't nobody's fault if you got a flat tire.
Right.
People get flat tires all the time.
Yeah.
But 5 years ago, I would have been pissed off that I got a flat tire. I would have thought that the world was against me.
Somebody flattened my tire.
That I got a flat tire.
Me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, it's flat tires happen. People get flat tires all the time. You know what I'm saying? So just armoring up allows me to be able to withstand whatever's coming my way. Whatever resistance coming my way, I'm able to withstand it. You know, it's just bouncing off of me. Now, life is gonna happen. I get that, right? Life is gonna happen. I'm not gonna be able to withstand everybody, but
I'm not let life break me though.
For sure, and that's why you gotta have people too in your corner that you can be transparent with, and you can go to for advice, and who can help you out. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly,
absolutely, man.
Exactly.
So real quick. So loving the fact that you're bringing up God in a way. I just got saved last year.
Oh man, beautiful.
So I'm seeing the ways that He's working within me.
Absolutely.
Especially since you were bringing up Exodus with the story of Moses and how God coached him up. So my question for you, do you have any specific experiences where God really helped you out within that moment, but leveled up your leadership qualities or your state of mind, your well-being? Has he what are those specific experiences for you that really leveled you up?
Yeah. So 2017, I wrote at the end of 2016, I wrote myself a letter in my phone about literally the world. I'm like, dude, this world is nuts. It's crazy.
Right.
And I didn't believe in Jesus Christ at the time either. I wasn't a believer. And it's so crazy because my wife is a huge believer. That's why I say my wife is dope.
Right.
My wife has been a huge believer. My wife used to go to church without me. I'm like, I'm not going to that church. You know what I'm saying? So, I get between, giving my life to Christ and then my wife, that was life changing for me. You know what I'm saying? So 2017, I gave my life over to Christ. And in 2016 is when I wrote this letter to myself. Kennedy was born. And it was just me bringing her mom, me and her mom bringing her into this crazy world. It was nuts. And I wanted something different, but what I needed was Jesus in my life.
Yeah.
I needed to be saved by Jesus. And a lot of people ask me what happened? And it's such an experience that I can't explain. You kind of just got to give your life to Him and feel it for yourself.
Right.
So many people want to, I'm not really into getting into debates, about, religion or, just your spirituality or faith or anything like that. I think the biggest race is it's the human race, right? I think when we, at the end of the day, when we all get to heaven, we all gonna come through these different doors, hey, it's the same God. You know what I'm saying? So, 2017 was huge for me. I gave my life over to Christ, and I felt so many transitions happen from me wanting to get married for one. I wasn't married at the time. Me wanting to get, closer to my wife, praying that, my wife's and I marriage is, more how Christ wanted it to be.
Right.
And you know, just fathering, you know, my children in a way that, you know, Christ has fathered all of us, you know, full of grace, full of love, and things like that. And so, you know, I guess my biggest pivotal moment was 2017, giving my life to Christ in 2017. That was the biggest pivotal moment ever. Now, you know, when you give your life over to Christ, now you gotta be ready for, you know, so much, you know, distractions and the enemy to be fighting you twice as harder. You know what I'm saying?
Target on your back.
Absolutely. And so, you know, I think at that point, man, it's a lot of other people came to my life. I had, you know, mentors and my pastors came into my life full throttle, and it was such a refreshing thing because I needed them, because I couldn't do the journey on my own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what a lot of people feel like. They think they got it, right? That they're self-made. I truthfully don't think anybody's self-made. I think we all need help.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you wouldn't be where you're at if it wasn't for somebody showing you, helping you, or leading the way for you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, keep it 100. You wouldn't be walking right now if it wasn't for your mama.
Absolutely.
Somebody put a bottle in your mouth.
For sure.
You. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
everybody needs somebody.
Absolutely. So 2017 was just a pivotal year for me. So much happened. And, you know, now I'm just trying to, you know, just be more qualified in, you know, my marriage and, you know, being a father and, you know, being an example to, you know, my family, my friends, and, you know, just being a righteous human being. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by no means. And I don't want to sit on this mic and sound like I'm, you know, this super perfect guy. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. Not close to it. So, but I'm growing, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's like we gotta have grace with ourselves. We was born into a world of sin. Have grace with yourself, you know, and move on and be better and learn from your mistakes. So
right.
Yeah,
because you have to take care of yourself to fill your own reservoir so you can give it to other people.
For sure.
But if you keep giving but not making sure you're okay, then
For sure.
your well's dry and everybody else is getting dry too.
Absolutely, 100%. That's a good analogy.
Right. So yeah, I mean, so since we're on the topic of, you know, not being perfect, and you know, that's exactly why I call this the Just Keep Swimming podcast.
Yeah.
You know, I feel that we're all swimming to this island, but then once we get to the island, I got another island to swim to.
Yeah, man.
You know, so that's why you gotta just keep
Never
swimming.
stops. Yeah.
So like, so where are you still swimming to? Like, where you still working on? What do you feel you have to keep working on?
Yeah. So it's, you know what, man, that's so good you said that, because it's kind of like, you know, I know you like Nipsey Hussle too.
Yeah.
And I was a huge Nipsey Hussle fan, man, and he just kind of left this, you know, this stamp on the world that, you know, life's a marathon. And I love that analogy because it's nonstop. Like, I think people set goals and like, okay, that's it. It's like, okay, then you have no more purpose. What are you here for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so absolutely, you get to one island, then okay, it's time to swim to the next island. You get to that one, then okay, now time to swim to the next one.
Real.
And absolutely, and that's leading by example, because you're showing kids like, yo, you can go higher, you can
Keep
go
going.
higher.
There is no limit.
And then you can go back and pull people up and go with you. You know what I'm saying? And so what's next for me, man? I'm working. You know, my wife, we want to strengthen our marriage. You know, I want to strengthen, you know, my relationship with my children, with, you know, my family, my friends. A few business endeavors that I'm on, which are great, phenomenal. You know, I'm working with you know, Max as well with his basketball career. Everybody be on the lookout for Max.
Yeah, tickets, Sunday tickets.
Yeah. So you know, he's working hard, and yeah, that's pretty much what I got going on, man. And just, you know, trying to uplift the community, and you know, I told myself, you know, I'm gonna start getting out there. You know, I know my pastor told me, she's like, you're always in the shadow. It's time for you to get out there. And that's really why I took on, you know, this opportunity. And again, thank you so much for allowing me to be on here, because I thought it was such a huge opportunity. And then, you know, I know you and your brother, y'all do great work. So it's such a privilege, you know, to be on here.
Like I said, bro, for me, it's an honor to just have you on here and just talk on the mic, because I know you just dropped an immense amount of knowledge right now. Like, you probably hurt somebody's head right now. I know you did. You got somebody rethinking their life right now, for sure.
Hey, so. It ain't come from not one bit, man. No. It's all copied, it's all duplicated. It ain't from me.
We not perfect, bro. We got some stories, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We got some stories where, me and you was out here running the streets looking like fools, you know what I'm saying? But hey, we changed a lot, man. We grew up big time, bro. And I'm just honored to see where you are now, and I just know that you're going so many more levels above. Like, I can't wait to meet you up there.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, do you have like a quote or anything like leave us? Like, what quote been running in your mind lately that you want to drop?
That's good. Oh man. And so this quote really just touched me. So quick story. So I'm at work, and it's this committee that, you know, they asked me to be on, and And so I'm running some other errands at work. Like I'm doing other work.
Right.
And so I'm on my way to the meeting, and the meeting starts at 10 a.m. And so I get there at 10:02 a.m. And so I'm late. But I didn't pay attention to me being 2 minutes late. And so I get in there and I walk in, right? And I didn't know it was gonna be such a formal meeting. So they in there, everybody's quiet, and I walk in, I'm like, good morning. I say good morning to everybody, but nobody say anything back, right? And I'm like, dang, like, did I just do something wrong?
Everybody look at you.
Yeah, so I sit down, and I'm just sitting down, and the meeting goes on, and so we leave the meeting, and one of the managers, great guy, pulled me to the side. He was like, man, you was late, what was going on? I'm like, my bad. And he's like, no excuses. You would think he was a nuke, because I don't spit no excuses, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, you're right, no excuses. And then we get outside, and we're amongst some other, gentlemen, African-American gentlemen, and he's just giving us game, bro. But it became like kind of like a hard pill to swallow, because he was telling me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear.
Right.
And wouldn't nobody else tell me that. So, essentially he's put me on game, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm listening, I'm like, yeah, but I ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
I was 2 minutes late, like, get over yourself.
Right,
like, I'm never really late. Like, it happened one time, like, my bad. But I get the point he was making now. And then I was listening to something later that day. It's crazy how you'll get revelation on stuff. So I'm listening to something, an audio or some type of podcast later on that day, and the dude was like, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're talking to me.
Yeah.
And so it was like, although I was 2 minutes late, and although I thought I was walking into an informal meeting, I should have treated that meeting like it was like a meeting with the president.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have been late.
Yeah.
Point blank, no excuses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if I'm 2 minutes late, who's to say I won't be 5 minutes late next time?
Next time, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I won't be late to the doctor's appointment.
Absolutely.
I won't be late to my daughter's recital.
For sure.
So yeah.
For sure. And so
That's
I'm
right.
like, I gotta take stuff more serious. It made me level up. That little instance made me level up a whole lot, because from that instance, I was getting revelation throughout the day because of, I read, I listen to stuff, and I got my revelation. I'm like, okay, how you do anything is how you do everything. Step your game up, sir.
I love how you said that, bro, because it's like you said, the revelation comes back throughout the day.
Yeah.
Look, this morning's Snapchat post was, wait 1 second. This morning's Snapchat post was, what you speak can change the world. Speak kind of yourself and others. And we just talked about how what you speak can really affect everything.
Absolutely.
I love it, bro.
Absolutely.
I love it, man. Amazing.
It's so funny how you speak, because it's like, you can find yourself talking like down on people, right? Or say like, for example, say like you have a terrible day at work. You go home, you're like, okay, that terrible day has affected you so much. Now you're speaking down on your wife, and then now you notice your wife is speaking down on your kids. And then now you notice like the kids
speaking down
on the dogs or her dogs. Like she got her dog and she talking to her dog crazy.
And stuff,
you're like, why are you doing that to your dog? And then you look back and you're like, damn.
Because it started with me.
It started with me.
Yeah.
It started with me.
And now that's full circle about lead by example, bro. You have to walk in with that positive energy, and then it will trickle down.
Absolutely.
Trickle right down the hill, bro.
Is it easy to do? No. It takes work.
Right.
I'm not even at I'm scratching the surface still, of leading by example. You know what I'm saying? I'm scratching the surface still, so.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, honestly, Nupi, bro, I feel, like you said, that's the reason I got you today, bro. I feel you've been leading by example for a long time, bro. Like, and that's just more just me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your brothers, older and younger,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Sisters, older and younger. Yep. I'm sure you changed your pop's mindset up a few ways.
Absolutely.
Like, you really making an impact on the
My pop's
world,
a dreamer now. Like, my pop be seeing, like, Ferraris and stuff. He be like, yo, that's nice. I'm like, yo, nothing wrong with dreaming.
No, that's
real.
right.
He be having like, he's like a visionary. I'm like, I ain't putting visions on you for no reason.
No, bro. Like, real talk. Like, talking with you guys, you know how we talk now. Like, we actually say I love you to each other.
Absolutely.
And like, I go home now, down the house of family now. You know, every time for the whole family, I love you guys, love you. We ain't never used to do that, and now I'm like, we're passing the love on. You know what I'm saying?
You're starting a standard.
We're starting a new standard for the family. Starting a new era for the world, and we about to just, like I say, I gotta change my world first, but it's gonna expand, and it's gonna soak out to other people's world.
Absolutely, but remember, have grace with yourself.
Yeah,
you know, ain't nobody, none of us are perfect. Have grace with yourself. You know, it's just taking that one step after another.
Yeah, man, and that's exactly what it is, Noob.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I just want to wrap this up, man. I just want to say I appreciate you one more time, bro. Like,
got it, bro.
This means so much to me, bro. And I will have you on here another time because I know you got a lot more that you can share with the world for sure.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, man, I just want to appreciate you. Donovan, man, you already know, brother, appreciate you.
Yes, of course. You too, bro. Again, thanks for bringing me along.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir, man. I love you guys to the fullest, man.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. So I just want to say, everybody have a great night, great day, great evening to come. I messed that up. Great day, great afternoon, great evening to come. And just remember, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Yes.
That's solid, bro.
That was solid, man. That's money. You just changed somebody's life, brother.
Wait. Before you jump in the water, check out my new SoundCloud. I just revamped everything. A lot of the new music that you heard from the previous episodes are on there. So just go ahead, give it a follow, give it a couple likes, share it to your friends. Just hit me back. And just keep swimming.